and gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and we've got a very interesting statement coming out of Ubisoft. Um, this is from GameSpot.com. Ubisoft CEO responds to nepotism accusations after he appoints son a top boss. Ubisoft was created as a family company and it's staying that way. First and foremost, no, it's a publicly traded company now, not a family company anymore. So, this is nepotism. 100%. You can't I feel that there's some sort of, oh, what's the term? Conflict of interest here. But I guess that's up for the board and the shareholders to decide, which anyone can be a shareholder right now because Ubisoft stock is in the gutter. It's I think it was like 87 cent this morning when I was looking at the market. And for a frame of reference, 5 years ago, it was $15, around $15. 5 years ago. In 5 years, they have tanked their entire company to fast tracking to pink sheets, basically. They are on their way out. I don't know what's going on. And nepotism, I don't know. Let's see what this article is about. Ubisoft has been a family business since its origination, and that trend continued with the naming of CEO Yves Guillemot's son, Charlie Guillemot, the co-head of the newly formed Tencent-backed Vantage Studios division of the French gaming giant. Charlie already pushed back against nepotism accusations, and now his father has reacted to the concerns as well. I'm going to pause for a second. If Tencent doesn't give a shit, I don't know what we can do at this point because it seems like it's backed by its Vantage Studios. So do they have a say? Is this part of the contract that Ubisoft would get to appoint the executives, but Tencent has creative control? I don't know their terms, but I guess we'll just keep reading then. Speaking to Variety, the elder Guillemot said, Ubisoft was created as a family company, and it is this family oriented structure that he believes is essential to the company today and into the future. This perspective guides our decisions and helps us build franchises, teams, and strategies that endure for decades, but also helps keep your wealth in the family. Guillemot went on to say that Charlie and the other Vantage co CEO, Christopher Dorenis, maybe, are the right leaders to run the studio. They bring a complementary strengths and experiences that make them well suited for the role. Their appointment was based on their skill, track record, and fit for the role, Guillemot said. Months ago, Variety asked Charlie about the nepotism concerns, and he said he completely understands why some would have strong feelings about this, but maintain that he's the right person for the job. Yes, I'm Eva's son. I don't Ives, maybe? Evis. I don't know. I do not know how to pronounce this guy's name. That's not something I hide from, but my appointment isn't only about family ties, it's about what Ubisoft needs at this moment, he said at the time. Charlie will be in charge of things like vision, direction, content development, and marketing of Ubisoft's three main franchises, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry going forward, while Dorenis will oversee production, co-development, and technology. All right. Vision, direction, content development. So he's just ideas. Does he have any qualifications? Does he have a degree? Like what other than being the son merits him this position? Here we go. Never mind. They're about to tell me. Charlie Guillemot got his start in gaming at Alliant in 2014, and Ubisoft later acquired the horse simulation game developer. He left Ubisoft in 2021 before rejoining the company in 2025, leading up to his promotion to co-CEO of Vantage. All right, see there I have a problem. You don't leave and then come back to become a CEO. That's some fucked up shit right there. Iger. As for Dorenis, he was co-founder of Ubisoft Montreal in 1997 and was most recently the managing director of Ubisoft's North America operations. Maybe fire that fucking guy then, because Ubisoft's been in the ditch forever. Looking ahead, Charlie said he expects generative AI and cloud technologies to revolutionize game development and player experiences. Sometimes that means shorter content, speaking to new generations that consume content in a different way. I'm convinced the industry will face new tech disruptions we can't fully predict yet, and Ubisoft intends to play an active role in shaping that future. He said, all right, I got to pause. You're fucking up. Video games were never a mass appeal thing. They became mass popular in the last few years, in the last decade or so, and they have much more mass appeal. I guess the last 15, 20 years, maybe. But they were never designed for a mass market. They were designed for targeted audiences. And those targeted audiences are what pulled them in. If you're trying to make a game for everyone, you're going to make a game that's for no one. That's just a standard rule that's been around, and it seems to apply very well to entertainment. Um, his comment about generative AI is likely to cause a stir, giving ongoing serious concerns expressed by developers about the role of generative AI in game development and potential job losses. And also theft, because generative AI needs to be given inputs, right? It's not creating something from nothing. Yeah, something from nothing. It uses inputs and other various factors, typically already owned or created images, to make things. It's not copyright free is the issue. It's more of a, the nice way to put it would be an homage engine, but it's basically a theft machine. A GDC study found that more developers than ever believe generative AI is hurting the games industry. But it's not surprising to hear Ubisoft wants to do more with AI, as the company has been a big believer in generative AI for years already. It's also been a big believer of just, pissing their fans off and destroying their own company because, like I said, 5 years ago it was worth $15. You want to go back further, it was worth more. But $15 in 5 years to less than a dollar, right? They're racing to the pink sheets. I don't know what's going on. I think somebody's going to swoop in, buy up all the stock, and maybe change the company in a different way. But anybody could do that shit right now. Like, if you have a decent cash flux, you could buy a large chunk of Ubisoft right now. It's 87 cent. We'll just say a dollar, even if it's $1 per share, right? You only need what, 20% of a company to become like uh where you have to be involved, I think. I think that's what the FTC line. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked it up. Once you own a certain percentage of a company, you are required. Um, it's like a fiduciary requirement that you become involved in the company because you own so much of it. Even if you don't want to, you have to like get advisors and shit like that. But that's the only thing I can think of why they're just trying to destroy this company is so somebody else could come in and buy it. It's like planned destruction. It's like a planned burn. I want to grow some stuff here, but I got to burn the field first. Right? Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Everything I read about Ubisoft seems to just be worse than the thing before. And this is 100% nepotism because if he left the company for 4 years and then came back and then immediately gets appointed co CEO, I want to know what it's like. I would like to get an understanding of his business acumen, maybe, or, what his skill set is that merits this promotion. But yeah, not looking good for Ubisoft. Never is looking good for Ubisoft. Not recently, but that's all I have for this article. This is your host, Belmont, signing out.